Oh, we're live. Ladies and gentlemen of the Ridin the Pine audience, welcome to this special edition. This week has been nothing short of chaotic and we felt that we needed to have our own little press release regarding the situation with the PGA Tour and the Saudi PIF and their acquisition. Because let's be real, their acquisition of professional golf yeah, so bear with me. On June 6, 2023 at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, it was announced that the PGA Tour reached an agreement with the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund to merge the individual entities of the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and the PIF-backed Live Golf League under the umbrella majority funded by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. CNBC broke the story with an interview featuring PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan and Governor of the Public Investment Fund, Yasser Al-Rumayyan, together for the first time publicly announcing the merger. Like many, I thought the Twitter post was a Photoshop fake. And also, like many, I had to check the calendar real quick because it was the very essence of an April Fool's Day joke. After probably literal hours of doom-scrolling Twitter since the announcement of the Live Golf League, the idea that these two entities could agree to coexist, let alone merge, was nothing short of unfathomable. New as I am to the world of professional golf, it didn't take long to see the rift between people like Greg Norman or Phil Mickelson in the PGA Tour. And to their credit, the fight between them seemed to expose many of the problems within the tour itself. It's hard not to chalk up a professional athlete's gripe with their overarching organization to greed. But when you looked at the disparity between the top-earning athletes and their less successful colleagues and their unwillingness to address these concerns with any sort of sincerity, it seemed like the rot had set in. With a sport as rich in history and as old as golf, it's easy to see that the stewards of the sport want to preserve that legacy and are reluctant to change. And as we like to get done up in our proverbial Sunday best and hit the course in style, in a world where sweatpants and gym shorts reign supreme in order to grow the game and attract young new participants, the stodgy old traditions have to at least bend a little in order to preserve the game we all love so dearly. At the end of the day, the PGA Tour refused to change. So with the aid of the Saudi PIF, Greg Norman led the charge to strike out and form a new league that would provide the change he thought the sport of golf so desperately needed. At that direct challenge, the PGA Tour resorted to the same tactics used since time immemorial by pundits of all stripes, resting on tradition, legacy, patriotism, and vitriol. The Saudis are no angels, by any means. They have been at the center of any number of human atrocities since the 70s, including the actual perpetration of 9/11, any number of women's rights abuses, and the disappearance, nay, murder and dismemberment of one Jamal Khashoggi. Despite a quieter investment in just about everything else we consume on a daily basis, the threat to the PGA Tour seemed to be the last straw. Fast forward less than 2 years from the initial conniption fit, and all is right and fine in the world of golf, according to Jay Monahan, who behind the backs of the players he's purported to represent strikes a deal that joins the rival leagues at least under a single parent investor. And I'm sure nets him a fat fucking paycheck. Pounding the war drums of loyalty and respect, convincing and begging players to remain with the PGA Tour and converting them to mouthpieces for this bastion of morality. A man who stood on the graves of the victims of September 11th side by side with their loved ones signs a backdoor deal with the very villain against whom they stood so steadfastly, and tells not a one of his constituents before the press release that shocked the world of golf. Not since the day Vince McMahon revealed to Stone Cold Steve Austin that it was he who was the villain all along have I seen someone at the heart of such a heated debate and at a similar level of power and influence over an organization do the same. Jay Monahan revealed himself to be the backstabbing, self-serving piece of absolute dog shit that he's been labeled since before the Live conversation even began. Throwing every player he convinced to back him under the bus while executing the biggest heel turn since Hulk Hogan joined the NWO. In the first players' press conference, Rory McIlroy continued his record of towing the company line, agreeing that it's the best thing for golf moving forward, but did not change his opinion of Live Golf itself, saying, "I still hate Live Golf. I hope it goes away," and that he believes with this merger that it will. Despite the specific wording in the release that all three tours, the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and the Live Golf League, will remain individual entities all under the to-be-determined global golf organization. Rory also took the stance against a peaceful resolution with those who defected to Live, stating, "We can't just welcome them back. That's not going to happen. And Live has nothing to do with this." Before capitulating, like his boss, that at the end of the day, money talks and you'd rather have them as a partner, referring to the Saudi PIF. But still thinks the Live players should be penalized upon any kind of return. Quoting the press release, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which funded Live Golf, will initially serve as the exclusive investor in the entity and have right of first refusal for future investments, while the PGA Tour will appoint the majority of its board members and its commissioner, Jay Monahan. The question then becomes, why does Rory think the PGA won here? The PIF just became the PGA Tour's daddy. Why would Al Rumayyan penalize the golfers who made this deal happen? By which I mean the Live golfers. Clearly, with Monahan at the helm and appointing the majority of its board members, the likes of Greg Norman will probably not be represented. The rumor is that Norman will not be involved in the joint endeavor whatsoever, though I have to admit it'd make for some entertaining news. That being said, Rory continues to sound like a PGA Tour puppet and a jilted ex at the same time, refusing to accept Liv's responsibility for bringing any of this to fruition. Anybody who's caught any of my golf opinions knows I can't stand Rory McIlroy. Predating Liv and the ensuing controversy, I saw and still see Rory as akin to a corporate spy, stooge sent to disrupt union negotiations, and the type of guy who, though wildly talented, walks into the locker room and declares himself the leader. That growing up in awe of Tiger and crafting himself into one hell of a golfer has yet to truly earn him the respect of his fellow players. To wit, during the emergency players meeting where Jay attempted to convince his players that all is well and there's nothing to see behind the curtain, when a player voiced his opinion or his dismay, calling for Jay's resignation, this Cessna cocksucker told him to just play better, before rightfully being rebuked with a "fuck off, Rory," from the back of the room. Do I think Liv will survive in the long run? Probably not. I think Al Rumayyan probably endeavored to use the formation of Liv in the PGA as leverage to get what he actually wanted, which was a piece of the PGA. Could it last? Time will tell. I can see a market for raucous events in the vein of the Waste Management's 16th hole. People like golf and they like to party. But is it or has it ever been a viable option to rival the PGA? I don't think so. While I share concern about the source of the funds, my biggest issue with this announcement is the rampant hypocrisy and backpedaling that is on full display across the golf world. Stalwart defenders of the PGA Tour during the last 2 years, memory holing every example of borderline defamation and slander hurled from their soapbox of moral high ground, while Jay Monahan appears to have just been jealous that his rival, Greg Norman, managed to secure the bag and get a live event off the ground, despite the moral grandstanding coming from the PGA and everywhere else. What was analytical golf coverage and journalism became a flame war, equating anyone remotely supporting Liv to Khashoggi's executioners themselves. Will Brandel Chambly and Eamon Lynch bend the knee to their new Saudi overlords, or will they maintain their moral opposition to anything Saudi and resign immediately? I'm not sad that this is happening. The biggest winners in all of this are the golf fans. Though the minutiae of the agreement have yet to come to light, at least the prospect of the world's finest back on the same playing field outside of the 4 major championships once again seems possible. The news is still fresh. Details have been nothing if not foggy beyond the press release and a few interviews with Jay Monahan. They're almost the same person. The rest of the players' opinions, I'm sure, will be trickling in over the coming days and weeks, and ultimately we'll see what comes of the whole situation. There's also word that the Department of Justice is interested in investigating the merger for antitrust violations. I'd certainly be interested in seeing the discovery that was due to be revealed in the no longer pending litigation between LIV and PGA Tour, personally. I'm sure there'd be quite a few examples of rampant and flagrant fuckery from both sides. Anybody who trusts the governing body of a professional sports league, to me, is a fool. What I can say, and I don't say this often, McIlroy is right to feel like a sacrificial lamb. There was no louder voice in defense of the PGA Tour than his, and has now been victim of professional golf's version of the Montreal Screwjob. This just cements my point, though. That being a jive-ass bitch is bad for your health. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And we will now return to standard Riding the Pine format. Thank you very much. Good night. And we're back.
I don't know where to even begin after that. That was beautiful.
It needed to be said. It needed to be said, and it needed to be recorded for perpetuity, because I probably wouldn't be able to actually, I wouldn't have been able to do that live on stream, I don't think. It probably would have been. It probably would have been a stumbling son of a bitch and all that, and I don't know. I needed the fade in and the fade out or whatever. But anyway, welcome everybody to Riding the Pine. We are currently a couple of people down. Tommy couldn't join us tonight. Uncle Dan might join us tonight. But this needed I feel like as a sports podcast or stream or whatever, this would have been criminally negligent to go a whole other week while this is happening, and waiting. We'd miss the bus. We'd completely miss the bus. I don't think I was this excited for the Masters. And it's just been I didn't think it, like I said in the press release, I didn't think it was real. I can't remember the original tweet. And because I didn't think it was real, it disappeared in my timeline. But it was a nice professional graphic of Greg Norman and Jay Monahan, and big block text. The PGA and LIV have merged, and I was just like, it's not even. Is there such thing? Are we at a June 1st joke now, or June 6th? June 6th. It was a big day, man. It was a big day, and it's been nothing but all the LIV guys. They're all the LIV, as the Barstool guys call them, the LIV bots. The idea of, I don't know, I'm somewhat in agreement with those guys that, like, I don't understand how people put that much emotion behind Liv. But like they're victory lapping like a son of a bitch, and then everybody on the PGA Tour side is like, they are taking just shot after shot of copium, trying to spin it like this is this is some great victory for them. The only person involved with the PGA Tour that should be feeling any way victorious right now is Jay Monahan, because guarantee that motherfucker just at least doubled his annual income, becoming the CEO of this new venture. And it's, I don't know, it's just been hilarious. I had something up, and then I went and I had to switch over so I could send Uncle Dan the link. But yeah, like there's an article today. It was an interview with, I think, what's his name, Jimmy Dunn. Yeah, Jimmy Dunn or Dunny or whatever his fucking name is. Where he's just like, he's talking to ESPN and he's just like, PGA runs fucking golf now, baby. Like, we got everything. Jay's the CEO. He's gonna load that fucking boardroom with PGA Tour guys and all this other shit. Meanwhile, the PIF that's where the money's coming from. And he said that they're only going to be a minority investor. Like, first and foremost, nobody's coming in. Even if they're a minority investor, by 1%, nobody is coming in to invest 51% with it, like a single entity to invest 51% into this new fucking thing. And take the majority. And then just completely fucking just shoulder or elbow out the Saudis. No way. It's not happening. I gotta find this post, because this guy wrote a fucking novel on Twitter, and it was glorious. And it's Jimmy Dunn. He's just like, it's all spin. It's all spin. They're all just trying to make themselves look like this is some great victory. And they're talking about penalties for the live guys coming back if they want to come back and play for PGA and DP World Tour. And like all the press releases from those two entities have been nothing but like, we won this. As if they had a fucking choice. As if they had a fucking choice. Fucking like, this one thing in the Jimmy Dunn or Dunny or whatever his fucking name is, in his interview with ESPN, he's talking about, he was like, I think they were surprised that we called them. What the fuck are you calling them for? Why is PGA Tour and DP World Tour, if they're in such good fucking shape, why are they calling fucking Al-Rumayyan to mend fences all of a sudden? And I'll tell you exactly fucking why. Because Saudis have unlimited money. Like they have what, $720 billion reported. Not to mention, I'm sure they're sitting on a fucking Fort Knox worth of gold that nobody knows about. And the PGA Tour worth however many billion, I don't fucking care. Like, it's all locked. My guess is it's total assets, including the players' retirement funds and all that stuff that they can't even fucking touch. There he is. Uncle Dan, King of Wisconsin himself.
We recording or no?
We're live, bitch.
We're live. We've been live for the last almost 30 minutes.
Why do you got to send it on Twitter? No one goes onto your computer to do Twitter, you fucking...
Hey, dipshit, I emailed it to you, too.
Yeah, I don't see it fucking email. Jiminy Christmas. Anyway.
I don't have your email account.
Did you see this nice fucking shirt I got, though? I got it in the soft cotton like a gentleman, too.
Like a gentleman.
By the way, hi, Ashley. Sorry, I couldn't interrupt Muda's rant.
Hi, Ashley. And by the way, if you buy a T-shirt, and you should, and you don't buy the soft cotton, you're just an asshole looking for
It's
a
on
cheap
sale.
piece.
It's on sale this weekend
It's
for
me.
48 hours.
I'm an asshole. I'm like one of those self-flagellating monks that just fucking whip themselves constantly. I like my t-shirts to be like fucking armor. My hoodies, however, I prefer my hoodies to be soft.
Have you bought a light hoodie from
I haven't
Muda?
yet.
Oh, it's
Because
nice.
it's
It is
not
so
bad.
nice.
it's the wrong season. Like they releasing them when they did. Like I mean, end of March or May. Like I mean I don't know how it is up in Michigan or Wisconsin. I don't know, but like here, there's no. It goes from you need a fucking parka to you should be wearing a tank top and shorts in a matter of a week.
See, I need hoodies because I work in a fucking air-conditioned plastics factory.
Gotcha.
See, the
It's actually
light
a good
hoodie
point.
is nice for campfires.
Yeah, it's actually a good point, Uncle Dan, considering
Or 5 a.m. you wake up cigarettes.
yeah.
I don't do that anymore, but yes,
My
you're right.
my shop is also air conditioned, and the thermostat is set to the daytime temperature when all the machines are running, and at night, as soon as the machines go down, the air conditioning kicks up, and that's it. Like the air condition, like it gets to about 65, 66 degrees at night, and it's pretty
The
chill.
minions
So
who work on the production floor, yeah, I get it. You can wear fucking shorts and a tank top. They look at me like I'm a psychopath because I come in a sweatshirt and shorts. And I'm like,
yeah.
if I have to walk through you fucks, I smell you and it's hot.
Yeah.
But where I wind up, it is like 63 degrees.
Yeah. It's
cool. And I need some sort of comfort.
Anyway,
about
yes.
that.
So that's at I'll throw the banner up. That's at mudamerch.com.
Buy the Uncle Dan shirt.
Yes.
I'll give you a free phone call.
Hey, speaking, Riding the Pine shirt available now.
Correct. I just loaded up the Riding the Pine logo T-shirt that is there, available for purchase, along with the Uncle Dan Sports Kook and the Sleazy E beer drinking, hell raising, 100% American made.
And that is perfect for 4th of July coming up. It's as American as you get. It's as American as beer drinking, apple pie, and telling people to go fuck themselves.
Tracy's getting one for 4th of July.
Oh. Is she? A Sleazy E shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Hot damn. Look at that. And
hobble in pride with that.
And yeah, and I suppose to get back on the topic at hand, not as you can no longer say American as PGA Tour golf.
It was never American.
No, money talks, bullshit walks.
And Muda, in your genius rant, the one thing you didn't bring up, the biggest loser, Tiger Woods.
No,
I don't. I think Tiger knew
the biggest loser is Rory Mcllroy and the way he's
fuck him.
Rory McIlroy's the biggest loser. Period.
What a piece of shit.
I'll
say it. What a fucking Northern Irish piece of shit.
Before we all agree to piss on Rory McIlroy, you know what though? Tiger Woods, first billionaire athlete ever. I guess we really can't shit too much on him, other than his game's gone down since he stopped fucking Waffle House waitresses.
Well, I
allegedly.
When his game went down when he stopped fucking Perkins waitresses in the ass in the back of his fucking
allegedly for legal reasons.
No, there's no allegedly. She came out and said it, and he admitted to it.
Uncle Dan,
he took a Buick Rendezvous because they were his sponsor. Pulled up to a Perkins at fucking 2 a.m, hammered drunk because he was hanging out with John Daly for a while. She saw nothing but money and said, "Yeah, I'll take one in the shitter for you." And
Uncle Dan, no, we're gonna say allegedly. Tiger Woods lawyers, he's got deeper pockets than heels and quads.
It would be the biggest money-making thing I've ever done if Tiger Woods sues me because he fucked Perkins waitresses in the asshole. I would
allegedly.
No, there's no allegedly. He did it.
Allegedly.
So
I said he did it.
I think personally that Tiger is a smart enough businessman to know that eventually something like this was going to happen, and that it wasn't worth the damage
Greg
to his
Norman's been
reputation.
preaching this since what? Fucking Tiger
30
Woods
years.
was fucking 8.
30
Well,
years.
the
Like, since
fucker
the
makes
90s.
the more on work, with just wearing a Nike swoosh. He makes more than any active golfer. I mean, he's a part-time golfer.
Yeah,
and he makes
but Greg Norman tried 2 different things to
Yeah,
the
he did
PGA, didn't he, and failed it?
The world.
He's
world
just
golf.
mad because he got divorced and that fucking bitch of an ex-wife of his took like $700 million from him.
Yeah,
because he
wonder if
made
he's
all
still
his
paying
money
alimony.
designing the courses.
I wonder if he's
She
still
got
paying
all
alimony.
of
If he got that extra $800 million, if he had to pay, it would wind up having to pay her more.
Yeah, Greg Norman, you stink.
I've always Greg. I don't know. I think it was. Honestly, I think it was because of Crocodile Dundee that Greg Norman like endeared himself to me. Like he was
because you thought his hat was the same as Crocodile Dundee's hat.
Well, it was. He represented.
In fairness,
Crocodile
he looks
Dundee
a lot like
on the
Paul
golf course.
He looks a lot like Paul Hogan.
Like he's Australian. He's got the accent. He wore that.
Got the
hat.
hair.
I mean,
they both had one good run, and then they both suck after all that. Yeah,
he had a couple. Greg Norman had a couple good runs. He had a couple good opens.
Not in a major, did he?
No. Greg Norman
he had a couple open wins,
but he never. What the hell was it? What's the one that he was chasing all the time?
Masters. He never could win that.
Yeah, never won the Masters.
Guess what? The British one don't count unless your name's fucking All-American John Daly. The rest
fuck
of
off. The fucking Open. The Open. It is the Open.
It's the oldest major.
It is so
it's 150.
classy.
Yes, the 151st this
It's
year.
not the Masters, but it is so goddamn classy.
The Masters is definitely more important to me than the Open.
No, the Masters.
Because the Masters is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Uncle Dan. The Open is the second biggest. It's better
the
than the
Open
US
sucks
Open.
unless it's at St. Andrews. No one gives a fuck.
I give a fuck every year. Every fucking July, I give a fuck. Fuck off.
Well, I mean, you and 10 other people.
It's a big deal. Whether you like it or not, Uncle Dan.
Well, you know what? The only thing is that's the second most important one because who gives a, or the third most important one because no one gives a fuck about the PGA.
No, the PGA.
And the U.S. Open, and the U.S. Open, I want to care about, but sometimes they pick some shitty fucking.
Uncle Dan, the PGA Championship is why we're here talking right now because Brooks won the guy. Brooksy won the fucking thing, and that's why we're here talking right now.
Between Brooks and I wonder, right? Because this has not been confirmed, but
John Rahm going over,
right? John Rahm was in talks to go over to Live. And that was the catalyst. That was the catalyst of learning that he could still play the majors, which is pretty clearly
all that matters.
What really matters to John Rahm is John Rahm wants to win majors, which honestly should be every.
That's all Brooks Koepka ever wanted to fucking do. Yeah. That's why I showed you guys why you should bet on him. He only gives a fuck about majors.
And he said it himself. He said if all he had to do was play majors, he'd be happy.
And then he goes, "Oh, do you have to play the golf tournaments?" Yeah, I have to get good for the majors.
Right.
But he doesn't care about winning any of them.
Right. And then also, now with Liv, he's got all the downtime to work on his game.
Fuck.
He only played 2 instead of 3 days a fucking weekend. Why not?
Well, no, 3 days.
Three instead of 4.
And actually, it winds up being 3 instead of 5 because you have to play fucking Wednesday in that pro-am.
And it's
every fucking tournament has a pro-am and they make you fucking play in it until you get the Tiger Woods status where he's like, yeah, I ain't doing that.
And then I said, I say it all the time, right? I've watched a couple Live events. Ultimately, they're not for me. I don't really care for the presentation. I don't care for the scrolling scoreboard on the side, although it's nice to see who's on top at all times.
I didn't mind the scrolling scoreboard. What I minded is wrapping tinfoil on my dick, pointing at due north to try and find the CW on my fucking.
I was gonna say I can't get the station to watch it, so I've never watched one.
I haven't watched since they did the CW deal. I was
Eric. So what you got to do? Easy, sleazy. This is what you got to do. Take tinfoil, wrap it around your dick. Now go walk outside your house and point it due north, and you'll get the CW on your.
Aim it at the northern lights, and you'll get it from everywhere.
You know what? I've tried that before. All I get is old episodes of Dawson's Creek.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's fair. I mean, the CW stalwart.
Huh.
Back when it was still the WB.
March.
But anyway, yeah, CW is a worthless channel. That deal, I know they only took it because it was the only TV station that they could
they
get.
didn't need to take a deal.
In fairness, one time I got it. It was an old SmackDown that still had Eddie Guerrero on it.
And it
So the good old days.
yeah. But
Yeah, the TV deal they didn't give a shit about.
I mean, I'm guessing that the Saudis did give a shit.
No,
Because
they
they
didn't.
took I mean, why the fuck would you choose the CW? If you
Because
had
they
no
didn't
other option.
have to.
I can tell you why. Free TV.
Free TV. They did not have
It
to.
gives you access to every
Saudis,
house.
financially, let's be honest, the Saudis don't need to do shit. They don't
No.
have to do anything.
That's why they don't give a fuck.
That's why they took the network. They took free TV. They just wanted it on TV. They didn't want it. They didn't want to take a cable deal where you have to have like the platinum cable package to get the channel.
Which they weren't going to get because every sponsor.
Carry on.
No,
I don't understand how this thing works.
How what?
I don't understand it because the dipshit of the PGA runs the tour, but the people that say who can be an investor in the tour is the Saudis.
Yep.
Nope. This is the to appease Rory McIlroy.
You know, this is what I was talking about.
Rory's got to be getting money under the table dirty.
It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me if he was getting some kind of
because
like
all those guys who got offered guaranteed money.
Yeah,
I'd be pissed.
I guarantee the PGA sold him. Hey Rory, we're gonna make you the new Jack, buddy. Not even the new Tiger, the new Jack. Because Tiger's Tiger, but then banging Perkins and Walt waitresses allegedly.
You might be onto something. They sell him as you're the new golden bear, and we can call you whatever the fuck. And every person's gonna look at him as a Northern Ireland piece of shit because he always was. Yeah. Fuck him. I hope Rory fucking kicks a rock. I can't wait to watch him fucking collapse in another tournament like he did in the Masters that one year, where he fucking caved like the Bills in a Super Bowl. Piece of shit.
I can't figure
out that fucking 200 guy who's like, what the fuck? And he goes, golf better? Fuck you.
It's amazing how divided we are on sports, but we all unite because we all can't stand Rory McIlroy.
Because he's a fucking cunt.
He is.
That's it. It's the beginning and the end of it. He is a cunty human being and has been for a long time. Like the fact
he should be the most pissed. He should be the most pissed.
Yes.
He's made $154 million, which is more than we'll ever make altogether combined.
Yeah.
He turned down $500 million, but he told a guy who was 129th on the tour who got offered a guarantee, who asked a question, he goes, golf better.
Yeah.
Fuck you. The fact that guy didn't reach into his pockets and look for fucking something, a pen, a goddamn razor blade, why no one carries a knife with them anymore, I don't know, and fucking stick him.
Honestly, I am happy that it was even reported that
I'd love it that he was the one who's like, no,
said,
you shouldn't do that. No, the guy fucking Tennessee I told you guys in text message, if you ever want to see the definition of a Tennessee handshake, here it is. Smile at your face, shake you in the hand, and gut you right in the fucking back all at the same time.
This is the thing fucking diatribe that I wrote. I mean, I made a lot of allusions to like Attitude Era.
This ain't Attitude Era. This is when fucking Ole turned on Dusty in the cage.
Like it is the
lured you in for a year, and then you knew he was going to be a fucking. I want to know his payoff, and this needs to be made public, and it won't.
No, it won't be, because this will never be a publicly traded company. I think. I don't know. Maybe once it's established and it's been around for a decade, maybe. But this is going to be
No, it's
all
not.
in house.
You gotta
That way
hold
that
up.
they don't have to. That way they don't have to report anything. They don't have to report. They don't have to do investor calls and shit like that with fucking, average Joes and fucking shit
Is
heels.
this on YouTube or Rumble right now?
YouTube.
YouTube. We're not on Rumble.
Okay. In the words of then Junior Corrado Soprano, hold on to your dick when you deal with these desert people.
Yeah, and that's the so this what I have up right now is just it's a little snippet from the ESPN interview with
I just don't
with
get
Jimmy
that they
Dunn.
will get penalized for what?
The idea that with all of the money coming from Saudi, that the guys who went over to the Saudi league are going to be penalized to go back and play with everybody else. Like it at best, if the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and all of their diehard fans are
Is
like
DP
are
the
begging,
DP World Tour the European Tour?
yes,
Okay, why is it called DP then?
because I'm pretty sure it changed names when Dubai was one of their biggest fucking investors.
All right, unless it involves a porn star, it's called the European Tour.
Whatever.
Pick your favorite, by the way, out there watching.
But the idea that only if there is a loud enough call for blood.
Actively recruited other players. How would you know?
You know what this is? I keep reading this. I know what this is. It's for one guy. This whole thing is one guy, Phil. This whole thing is deliberately at Phil. Yeah. That's it. Maybe
because they don't want to see him gut strutting and getting fifth in the fucking PGA again or whatever.
Maybe Brooks. Maybe Brooks for winning the goddamn fucking PGA tournament.
Brooks has already given the middle finger to everybody. He's sitting there fucking laughing.
But I've read this now while we've been talking 4 or 5 times. I'm just trying to process this. I mean, it's easy to read, but it's taking it in.
Yeah.
This is directly at Phil Mickelson.
Yes. I mean, Phil is second. Like, he's the right-hand man of Greg Norman in getting this whole fucking thing going.
But actively
and the problem is lefty can still fucking play.
Right.
I mean, what is he now? 46, 47, but the fucker can still play.
But actively recruiting other players, how do you know that? How do you prove that?
Yeah. I mean, it's
the part that says sued.
There's
2 guys they're after in this phrase, part A, sued. Yeah. 2 guys.
Yeah, but B is the one where they're going to try and get some scumbag who's like 198th in the world.
Right. But no, it's A.
And let's say that scumbag's me. How are they going to know I go to you guys, hey, you guys want guaranteed money and a private plane flight?
But there's 2 guys, A, sued. Phil Mickelson and Mr. Paula Gretzky. Those are the 2.
Oh, Dustin Johnson gave the most simplest answer. He covered his ass in the beginning when he went, less work, more money.
But he was part of the lawsuit.
Yeah, that's fine because he got pissed off about that part. But all he said, he goes, I never talk shit about the PGA Tour, and name one time where he has. All he said was, I get less work, more money. That's all he ever said.
And more time to bang that hot ass wife of his.
Yeah, and do coke. Allegedly, he got clean. Good for him.
We've heard stories from a certain. We have a certain man on the ground.
I'm sure he's clean, like I'm sober. Anyway,
but the big problem with Phil was when he got caught saying, like, essentially admitting
he didn't care what the Saudis did he goes, I don't give a fuck what they did to their people or whatever.
Well, no, he said they're scary motherfuckers. Like admitting that he understood that the Saudis, have been.
They want to stare down with fucking Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
They are. They also have $650 billion to play with.
I think,
and by the way,
last reported $720 billion to play with, and that is reported.
And if you're pissed off about that, I hope you don't have Disney Plus. I hope you don't have Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be Twitter, but not now because.
Which has been the loudest. Like, I wouldn't even call it support, but the cognitive dissonance. The all of a sudden for some fucking reason, the PGA, that was the last straw. even though Saudis have been investing in American fucking American
They were-
shit forever.
They were looking for easy athletes. And the problem is, if you think of this in football terms, think of it as football players, like now football players. Think of Ray Lewis in his prime, and he took the money and somebody came after him and tried to talk him out. Fucking Ray Lewis would knock you the fuck out.
Yeah.
And drag his nuts. Or Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Or JJ Watt, or any of these people. You can go after a golfer because a golfer weighs what? 130 pounds soaking wet. Yeah, we work out, you do all that shit. Yeah, you can't fucking run 20 minutes. We get it. It was the only easy target. You can't call out athletes for you took money from bad people. Then fucking talk to every fucking athlete who has a Nike fucking sponsorship. They don't, because you will get smacked in the fucking mouth and not get up.
The idea that the PGA Tour maintained all of its sponsorships with people that use sweatshop labor.
Oh yeah,
and
good on them for using it.
Like, I mean, it's fucking business, right? It's business. Like, I don't know too many people that are gonna sit around and fucking and just while the cost of labor just continues to rise. Time after time after time after time, because people learn their value and they want more money, and then eventually everybody else does, and then the cost of doing business rises to a certain point where you can no longer stay in business and maintain the profits that you used to enjoy.
Look, use your sweatshop labor to make clothes that I love, and if anybody has a problem with that, you do not get to attack me from a computer, a iPhone, a Samsung phone, or anything else. So sit there and fucking whittle your clothes like a goddamn Amish person.
So if you have an issue, tweet at me, ERBrock5 on Twitter, and I'll personally give you Uncle Dan's phone number to personally complain to him.
Oh, and please do, because the first picture you get back is my fucking ball sack.
But yeah, it's I don't know. This whole thing has been wildly entertaining for me.
I thought it was at the beginning. I didn't like it that they attacked the golfers, and I'm like, this is life changing. Like Zalatoris, who didn't take the money.
Yeah. Oh man, that guy's fucked.
And now he's fucked. Probably not going to play golf for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
because he's getting back surgery and he's all fucked up.
And he doesn't have Tiger money.
No, he's only made $10 million on the fucking tour, and they offered him $130 million guaranteed.
He could have
guaranteed, and they paid that shit up front because everybody didn't like the deal because everybody thought it was shady.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Well, all right, check cleared." Dustin Johnson goes, "Check cleared," and he goes, "Less work, more money," and the check cleared. Motherfucker, if I told you to come mow my lawn once a week, but I wrote you, I want you to mow my lawn once a week for the next 3 years, but here's $230 million and the check cleared, motherfucker, you'd mow my lawn and leave Gatorades out for me.
But they can still win more money while playing too.
Yes. And then the PGA Tour goes, well, magically we found, I don't know. Yeah. $60 million right over here because we flipped over a fucking couch cushion.
Right.
And then you have guys on the fucking PGA Tour who go there and you have to fly in. You got to play Wednesday, but you got to get there Tuesday. So you got to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you're lucky, Saturday, Sunday. And if you're not lucky, no Saturday, Sunday. And you have to fly out a caddy. And, oh, guess what? You didn't win no money. So actually, thanks for coming to play in our tournament.
Right.
That cost you $12,000, and that's at a minimum with flight tickets, carrying your fucking bags. And by the way, that ain't normal bags, those are golf bags,
right?
And you got to bring your caddy. It's not like your caddy's paying his way. Who the fuck does that?
It's a funny thing about those are cart bags.
Yeah, basically
those are bags that are designed to be put on the back of a golf cart. And then those motherfuckers got to.
And they're heavy as shit because, God forbid, because you want to put whatever. If you're a shitty golfer or trying to make it on it, yeah, you're wearing a Titleist bag. But if if we put the Great Muda on the side of the bag and gave some fucking golfer $50 and paid for the fucking bag, he'd wear it.
Yep.
Because he'd take the $50.
And yeah, those things are.
You all think about the highest top 20 guys. Think about the rest of those fucking assholes.
Right. Well, it's like Joel Damon, right? It's kind of like half a wild child, like doesn't give a shit, just likes golfing.
Yeah,
he's the guy that came that had that really that nuts comeback in the U.S. Open last year. He had that episode of Full Swing where Full Swing's got its problems. Full Swing was a fucking dyed in the wool live hit job.
I liked Full Swing. I still love it.
I
love anything.
The attitude towards live in Full Swing, I found to be.
But the one thing they showed you was like, well, I'm pretty sure it's Dustin Johnson. I use his name a lot because he's like, or maybe it was Brooks.
Was it Dustin?
One of them said, he goes, I don't think I can win again. Like he was just mentally broken.
That was Brooks. That was Brooks because he was injured.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think I can win again, so I'm going to take the money where I can get the fucking money because I ain't going to make it ever again. And I went, that is the most fucking honest human answer I've ever heard. I don't think I can win, which means I can't get the money, so I'll take the guaranteed money.
Right. But they had Dustin Brooks and Ian Poulter all had.
Well, Ian Poulter's an old fucking cunt.
He is. At the same time, I love the guy because
he is a grumpy fucking guy.
He is, and that's why.
I'm a grumpy old asshole? Holy shit, Ian.
That's
Poulter.
why I love him. Is because he doesn't doesn't mince words or whatever. Like
I look at him and I go, buddy, calm down.
In the twilight of his like actual competition.
At the same time, he's been in the twilight of his career for about 10 years because he keeps holding on because he's an old ornery cocksucker.
Just enough.
No, he's just an old ornery goat. But even me, I just go, dude, I love grumpy old people because I am a grumpy old person. But come on, buddy, you're making us all look bad because he's just a
But and not to mention, I do. There's a kinship a kinship with the going to a golf course and kind of like just pushing the envelope as far as your appearance because it's still that shit still matters on a fucking golf course. Like
that's probably why I don't like him more.
It's here nor there, but fucking.
You either have a John Daly status or you're either John Daly, Payne Stewart, otherwise wear normal shit and don't wear red on Sundays unless your name's fucking Tiger. But that's how fucked up it is. That's how good Tiger was. If I see somebody else wearing red on Sundays and they're a golfer, I hope you lose. I hope.
Unless there's something like the fucking
there's no unless.
Yes,
Tiger Woods
when he got into that car accident, everybody fucking wore red on Sundays.
Tiger Woods taught us one thing: you wear red on Sundays unless you're Tiger Woods. Now, if you want to cheer
in a normal fucking tournament,
because there was guys who used to go to the bar and they'd wear red shirts because it was Tiger Sunday. That's allowed. When you're being a fan, that's allowed. That's like wearing a baseball jersey.
Park and Rex made that reference after he get laid.
After Ron Swanson got laid, he fucking dressed like Tiger Woods.
But if I see another golfer on TV wearing a red fucking polo on a Sunday and your name ain't your last name isn't Woods and your first name ain't Eldrick, I hope you have I hope golf kills you like it does everybody else. I hope you have a fucking breakdown.
You know,
I want to watch you hit it long and wrong.
I suppose I'd give the kid.
The child is allowed because it's called grandfathered in. He's allowed to.
You know, I'm laughing
when he actually gets there. Like he's gonna be a killer.
Oh,
if Tiger can teach Charlie Woods how to avoid all of the problems that Tiger had with his the injuries and shit from his exquisite golf,
you can avoid a lot of those things.
Charlie,
easy if you have taken fucking being a ball.
Charlie's gonna be
Every
a
fucking
killer.
golfer looked like me, and then Tiger Woods shows up and fucking head gets big.
I mean, the first
Yeah,
big
tell me
thing
that
is,
fucker wasn't on D-ball.
first thing is, hey Charlie, don't get married and let your wife beat you with a golf club when she finds out you're fucking Waffle House and Perkin waitresses, allegedly.
Charlie, here's
first and foremost, I just say, Charlie,
no,
don't get married.
Marry a Norwegian or marry a Scandinavian supermodel. I think she was Swedish.
Yeah, I think
marry one of those, but make sure that she's okay with you literally fucking a Chicago 3 Perkins waitress.
Allegedly.
Now, all I want to see is on one Sunday, what are we talking about, 5-10 years from now? We're sitting there having a couple of beers. Hey, the Masters on. What's going on here? The last 9 holes and the group pairing is Little John Daly versus Charlie Woods fucking balling out at it. And I want a actual camera constantly on the hospitality tent where you see Tiger and John Daly just pounding booze because they're both stressing out, and John's real cool about, hey, it's okay, Little John's doing his thing. But when they won that fucking father-dad thing that the Woods is playing and everything, they won that 2 years ago, where they kind of do father-son or father-daughter, and then they do the weird goofy parents and all that shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, and Little John hit that putt, and John Daly goes, I've never been that nervous in my entire life. I want to see just John Daly looking at Tiger going, you okay, bud? And just ripping heaters at him.
Trying to
and them two.
It is weird how divided we are as sports fans, but there's 2 things we agree on. Fuck Rory McIlroy, and John Daly is our hero. It is amazing.
And Tiger Woods is our hero.
But, yeah, absolutely. But
Tiger, I think he understands. I think that's the cool thing about Tiger Woods is he understands that to us, if we go John Daly's higher than you, and he would look at all of us and he goes, yeah, I get it.
But Tiger Woods wouldn't give a bunch of degenerates like us the time of day. No, John Daly would sit and rip heaters and drink.
But he would give us the time of day if John Daly brought him in.
Right.
There was that old quote. They're like, John Daly, what are you doing? You're in the top 5. And they go, how did you handle the pressure? And he goes, I went and played the One-Armed Bandits for about 5 hours last night. Yeah. And everybody giggles. And then he looks around and he goes, well, Tiger Woods fucking played with me for an hour.
Right. But Tiger Woods wouldn't give us the time of day, where if we ran into John Daly, we'd start buying
Daly, if you were drinking his Tracy just sent him to me, the
Good Boys, John Daly's vodka sodas.
Yeah.
I'm not a tea guy. I sell those. They're pretty good.
I'm not I'm not a Hooters guy, but I definitely want to go this summer.
Dude, you understand Hooters gets my respect for picking John Daly and then picking Little John.
I want to go and I want to eat off the John Daly inspired menu at Hooters.
Oh, fuck right. Yes.
The Hooters, all the Hooters around me are not fucking good. And by not good, I mean, the waitresses.
Yeah, you're a judgy asshole, though.
I'm not. I'm not.
Yes,
you
have to inspire your inner John Daly, and what you have to go in there is
I have a low bar.
I want an Arnold Palmer with a 5th of vodka in it. And then after you have that, then
if it's an Arnold Palmer with a 5th of vodka in it, that's a John Daly.
The Hooters near me, the waitresses are, with the exception, the bartender is always a Hooters girl, a proper Hooters girl.
Well, they're making the money.
But the waitresses at the Hooters around me are all better suited for the South Park version. What is it? Raisins?
Raisins.
Like
raisins.
Flat front and back. So you just got a bunch of.
Look at Muda being judgmental. By the way,
the
Hooters by him. His fucking address doesn't exist according to the United States Postal Service.
No,
so,
I
to
get
the United
what
States
Postal
saying. Service post in Wisconsin. Everywhere else, I get mail every fucking day. I hate it. I kind of wish Uncle Dan was absolutely correct. This is mostly junk mail.
Look at that. Fucking Jason Isringhausen sitting right here.
I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't like if I got to set up
Tracy
maybe
even
one
still
day.
keeps the damn thing on it with the tape.
One day I'm gonna go down to fucking Boulder proper, and I'm gonna fucking set up a PO box just so you can send me that shit because I like that's it. It's all I got. I'm in unincorporated territory, and apparently, even though that post office serves me every fucking day, Uncle Dan can't.
Oh, that
fucking
some
get me
bitch got
shit.
shipped halfway there.
I
And then
know.
got sent
I
all
don't
the way
understand it.
fucking
I have
America.
no.
Bitch went all the way to Nebraska.
I have no answer for you, Uncle Dan. I get mail every day at the exact address that I sent you. I even sent you the one with like that extra 4 digits on the back of the fucking
Yeah, that made it worse.
code.
That made it sound like I was trying to send you a nail bomb and you had to finish it off.
Some of the shit that I've gotten in the mail from friends, you should be shocked that they, for whatever reason, that this action figure fucking
The
got
things
rejected.
I'd send you guys in the mail. Anyway, Sleazy E, thanks for that. What'd you call it? The pocket vagina? Oh yeah, Sleazy E sent me in the mail a fleshlight. It was Kimmy Granger, actually, is what it was. So
Slightly used.
But
no,
not
I
by
watched
me.
it. I'm a fucking gentleman. I watched it. Anyway, Aunt Tracy has to get to bed because she has to work tomorrow, and I got to drink with my cat. We will yell more about this golf thing later. I just wanted to come in and say hi, boys.
Thank you for your contribution, Uncle Dan. Everybody that's watching, either live or on the back end, go to mudamerch.com. Get your Uncle Dan Sports Kook t-shirt.
Always, we need to do a Saturday/Sunday fun day kind of one. Quit making plans on the weekends, you fruits.
I do my best. I do my best. It's the only time I have.
Talking about you, Eric.
Sorry.
These people with families, it's gross. All right. Love you, boys. Have a good time.
Love you too, Uncle Dan.
See you,
Thanks
Uncle
again.
Dan.
Love you guys.
It was actually a civil conversation.
I know.
As far as the Uncle Dan bar goes.
I know. I'm dumbfounded.
He's my guess is that he's trying to make way for Aunt Tracy to have a good night's sleep, not get all stressed out.
Well, I think she must have to get up, but I think now he's into Uncle Dan mode. That whiskey started going down pretty good.
It did indeed. I'm gonna pull this up, and so that way we have something to laugh at, because this has been my favorite part of this entire thing. This is Brandale Chambly. For anybody who is not in the golf world, Brandale Chambly he's a former professional golfer, is now a golf analyst, journalist with the scare quotes, big time. He has been one of the, if Rory was the loudest player against Live existing, Brandale Chambly is the loudest commentator or reporter or anything like that. This guy has, as I stated in the RTB press release, like, this guy has been like, he's like in a flame war with Phil Mickelson, blocked him on Twitter and all that stuff. And anybody who knows Phil knows that's where he does his best work, is on Twitter. If he's not fucking like making ridiculous chips and putts on the golf course, he is making hilarious shit happen on Twitter. And Brandale Chambly has been his biggest hater. This picture, and I was kind of surprised that it took me so long. I had to scroll pretty far to find it today. But upon the announcement of the Saudi Public Investment Fund and the PGA Tour coming to some kind of agreement, and him saying this is the saddest day in the history of golf, and then making this face. And when I saw this face, that is pretty much when I figured out that it was a real thing. Because it looks like they rolled this jackass out of bed and were like, we need you to talk about it. And then they told him, and telling him was like kicking his dog. If not outright, just like, hey, Brandel, I want you to stand there right there as I run over your dog slowly, and then reverse to make sure that everything is good. And then the job is finished. Like, this is beautiful to me, mostly because I don't like moral grandstanders. And if this guy continues to work in the world of golf, and I'll give him till the end of the year, because nothing happens in 2023. Outside of all this nonsense that we've been talking about, nothing happens until 2024. When supposedly, according to Greg Norman, supposedly everything is good with Liv into 2025. I'll believe it when I see it. I think Liv was a means to an end. I think the Yasir Al-Rumayyan called the PGA Tour, said, I want to put money into your tour. And due to the Jamal Khashoggi incident, the PGA Tour was just like, we can't afford to do that. So they said no. But when you have unlimited money, let's be real, unlimited money, as far as private entities, and it, like, Saudi is, that's a kingdom. So you've got whatever, the Saudi prince, or I don't know the politics of Saudi Arabia. But, like, they don't have the governing bodies like exist in the United States.
No. And I'm trying to be very good about this and not make anything political. So that's part of the reason why I'm a little more quiet, because I could get into a lot of things that it's not appropriate. It's not ride the pine conversation.
I mean, it is and it isn't, considering what's happening right now.
No,
and
but
the subject of this show, right? So the governing body of Saudi Arabia looks entirely different, because it is more or less like something like kind of like a monarchy, right? So the Saudi prince, in essence, owns everything inside the border of Saudi Arabia.
Without getting into too much, and again, I don't want to go on a tangent, let's face it, LIV is part of the propaganda wing. They have this unlimited funding. It's the same with the WWE. It's a propaganda wing that,
I have a thing, and I will credit this to Big Boy Pants Golf YouTube channel. If anybody watches them and they like golf, or if anybody watches this and likes golf and likes alternate views, go check out the Big Boy Pants Golf channel. They mentioned this, and I never really thought about it, honestly, until they said it. There is a hubris in the American mind to think that everybody wants the American market, and they will do whatever they have to do to get it. And there's a lot of money here. There's a lot of money to be made in the American market. But there's a whole other world around it. And the world is, thanks to the internet, the world is is growing more and more and more every day. And the idea that a governing body or a single person, I don't know, in the Jamal Khashoggi incident, and by incident I mean, like I said in the press release, murder and dismemberment of a dissident journalist, to think that a government that would do that and has more liquid cash than we do, that they are somehow worried about what we think. Like, that cash exists. Liquid cash, not credit. Liquid cash that we gave them because of the oil. So this is, we're talking, it's a matter of liquidity, right? Where like the United States is, and forgive me for getting political but it has more to do with economics to me. We are borrowing money annually in the trillions for whatever the fuck our governing body wants to spend it on. The Saudis have, at least according to the Dunny interview, $720 billion liquid that they can do with whatever they want. Whatever they want. And that's reported. The United Emirates, Saudi, like all of those, like that general region of the world, where they had pretty much nothing but oil and opium, really.
I mean, not to cut you off, but you're literally talking about they have so much capital and liquidity that they're literally building ecosystems. Like
Yes.
UAE and Saudi Arabia literally are like, they have one set of weather, super hot and kind of hot. So they're literally building ecosystems where it's like, you want to ski any time of the year, we have a giant dome that's 5 football stadiums that's just for skiing.
Yeah.
It's
insane. Like,
no, it's
to a rational world, like a rational thinking world, like the amount of money that they have. And that's like that's where like what I was saying before, the idea that the PGA Tour, who was hemorrhaging money, fighting lawsuits to avoid discovery, somehow came out the winner in this. Al-Rumayyan got exactly what he wanted. All he wanted to do was invest in the PGA Tour. And now he's got it.
And I don't know how much, you probably don't watch any soccer, correct? If Uncle Dan was on, he'd probably be able to speak to this.
I don't, but that's not to say that I don't on purpose.
Have you seen the two biggest moves that Saudi Arabia have done in the last 6 months?
I know that Saudi Arabia spent $20 billion on soccer players in a week.
Yep. So their two biggest things, and one name, forgive me, I'm not going to attempt to say it, but the biggest one is they signed Cristiano Ronaldo at the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. So just recently, the soccer season's ending.
Mm-hmm.
The second best Real player that was there with Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm not going to try to say his name.
Just say Ronaldo.
Well, no,
like that's no. I even though I don't watch soccer, I know Ronaldo.
No, but Ronaldo's been there for a year now.
Right.
So they paid him, and he's in his twilight.
Yeah.
They tried to pay Messi, but Messi got a deal with Apple to sign with America now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna get $50 million a year, which is less than the Saudis were offering, but he gets sharing with the stream. But there's a third guy and I can't think of his name. I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to try. They just signed him to almost Ronaldo levels, and it's insane. And the guy like Ronaldo is like 34, 35, which is the twilight of their careers. But these Saudi leagues are like China was about 4 years ago, where all the rich families all own a team.
Yep.
And they're just, you know, it's insanity right now.
All right. Okay, so I need to make a drink and I need to make a pit stop. So
I think that's an excellent idea.
So I'm going to click here, and then we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back, and we'll continue this discussion because this is right. All right, so we are, as far as live goes, we are approaching 1 hour of actual conversation, but I've got a lot more. So if you will stick with me, stick with us, viewers, please and thank you. We love you guys, and we'll be back as soon as we're back. we're back. Fresh drinks, empty bladders. We're back. Yes. So to try and continue, I don't know. It bothers me endlessly to think that the PGA Tour is making themselves out to be the victors here.
Well, you have
Like-
to, because at the end of the day,
I mean,
it's still
spin,
going to say PGA. It's never going to say LIV. It's going to say
right.
PGA.
It's spin, right? Like so, like to me, Live was always a circus. You know, the Saudis were Barnum and Bailey, and they were fucking selling a thing like the golf but louder. Like the only thing, honestly, aside from the only thing that Live I think did for golf, truly, was like the idea of guys playing in shorts.
Yeah.
Like the idea that they were just like, yeah, we'll let you play in shorts. It's retarded to not allow. Like these motherfuckers are playing. Some of them are playing. They're playing in Texas, in New Mexico, in the summertime, in actual Mexico, in the summertime. You know, like and trust me, right? You know, like I'm a guy with weak calves. Try though I might to actually fucking build those things up. I'm embarrassed of my legs. So I wear pants all year round. There is a backstory to that involves working in construction. But for the most part, embarrassed of having to show my calves to the world. So I found breathable material. Golf pants are great for that exact reason. You can wear them in the dead of summer. Just don't wear fucking black, and the shit will breathe. But the idea that athletes of any kind would be forced to play outdoors in hot climates and are not allowed to wear shorts is ridiculous to me. So Live, it was almost one of their fucking selling points. We're not going to stop a guy from wearing shorts. And then these are just like, yeah, like we're going to play events in Saudi Arabia, in the middle of fucking nowhere, in Australia, in the summertime. And we're not going to force our players to wear pants. Like that's it. Like the idea that pants or shorts rather is a selling point. It's mind blowing that we're there. But again, like I said in the press release, the idea that we live in a world now, like okay, so you go back and you look and I'll pull it up. The idea of like the cotton slacks and sweaters that were made so like I think it was Arnold Palmer and Arnold Palmer smoking on the golf course. Image. Ugh, I might have to go to Reddit to get this. You know what? Fuck it. I'll go to Etsy. I'd rather go to Etsy than pull up a fucking a Reddit thing. Like right? Like this look. Okay? And it like I get it, right? Golf is a gentleman's sport. It's very hoity-toity. It's not for the hoi polloi and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons we love movies like Caddyshack so much. But like, look at it. You've got two guys wearing button-down shirts, maybe polos. We can't see for sure, but they're wearing their fucking cardigan sweaters over the top, fucking guaranteed cotton slacks at this time.
Oh yeah.
Cotton doesn't breathe. And it gets hot.
And there's
right?
smoke
And
darts.
smoking darts, fucking ripping darts. That's Arnold goddamn Palmer.
And
Arnold
Ben
Palmer
fucking Hogan.
And Ben Hogan. That's right. That's it. Arnold Hogan and Ben Hogan is right there in the fucking title, and I didn't even really catch it. Two of the biggest, if not the biggest. I know Arnold Palmer is still with us. Ben Hogan is no longer, sadly.
No, I believe Ben Hogan is with us. Arnold is not with us anymore. You're confusing Arnold with Jack.
I might be.
You are. Arnold passed away.
Arnold passed away.
I believe Ben Hogan actually hit at the Masters, if I recall.
I don't think. I'm pretty sure Ben Hogan's dead.
I swear he was at the Masters.
If I've been reading that man's books, and he's still with us, I will be shocked. Because Ben Hogan was a big
No,
guy.
97. My apologies. I don't know who I'm thinking of, but 97, Mr. Hogan passed away.
Okay. And then Arnold Palmer, let's see. Oh, also dead. Both guys in this picture are dead. I am confusing them with Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, I know. Not to correct you, but
No. Correct. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to sit around. I don't want to walk around talking about Arnold Palmer still being alive.
I assumed you were confusing Arnold Palmer with Jack Nicholson.
And you would be correct. All right. So Arnold Palmer and Ben Hogan.
Who am I thinking? Who am I
legends
thinking
on
of?
The golf course before Arnold Palmer created the half and half iced tea and lemonade. But yeah, look at this. It's a beautiful picture. I love this picture. I would not pay these $495 plus. I would likely get it off the internet and print it myself.
Real fast, Muda. I was confusing Ben Hogan with Gary Player.
Got you. Gary
Player
is still very much
Jack
alive.
Nicholson and Gary Player took the honorary first two shots at the Masters this year. Sorry to
Jack Nicklaus.
You
said Nicholson.
No,
I got really excited.
No. Jack Nicklaus, the golfer, not the Joker from Batman.
Jack Nicholson, the legend, and also avid golfer.
Yeah. No, but Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player. That's where I was messing up Hogan. So many classic names.
Oh yeah. But anyway, the idea. Oh, you look at these guys, right? This is office attire. This is not athletic attire. I mean,
but look at the crowd. Look at the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. You got to all right. So where are we at here? Yeah.
Look at the motherfucker down there.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here, where the cursor's at.
Go down. Go down. The guy sitting crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, we can't
how they say it now. You can't say it Native American style.
Indian style. I remember that. I'm old enough for that.
And then look at the guy next to him.
Yeah, suits. Sitting on the grass in suits. Collared shirts all around. Everybody here. And if you I'm not going to pull up images from the Masters from this year. But if you look at, that's the 1966 Masters is when that happened, when that picture was taken. And if you look at, and I'm sure, right? And that's what you do. That's what we do when we get together, right? We get done up in a way, usually with Rockmount Western shirts. It's an occasion, and especially now you have to enter a lottery for the opportunity to buy tickets to the Masters.
Oh yeah, it's a once in a life. Unless you're part of the elite, it's a once in a lifetime.
For sure. Unless you know somebody, unless you know a guy that knows a guy.
And there's a lot of things like that. Like this year, I wanted to go to the Kentucky Derby. I know it's a little different, but
it's not that much. Not from the Masters.
Well,
Kentucky Derby is the Masters of the horse racing
get
world.
Crappy, in track, like no seats, standing all day, was $1,200 a person.
Yeah,
I couldn't justify it.
I think the Masters is slightly more reasonable than that.
Slightly. But I'm saying though, it's this thing that unless you're part of the old guard, you're not getting in.
I think it's something like $500 a day to get tickets to the Masters. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, leave it in the comments or in the chat if you're here with us. But anyway, to my point, golf is like even I. And as I sit here in a collared shirt with a tie and a vest on, even I don't even I will never, like, you will not find me on a golf course in jeans and a t-shirt. And even looking at the crowd at the Masters, it's Georgia, springtime. The weather this year was a little volatile. But even those, like you get shorts, yes. But most people are wearing collared shirts at least. You go to a golf course, you have a fucking polo on. And that's been like I would say the sport polo is solely based on people going to a golf course wearing a cotton shirt going, this is hell. This game is already hard. But then also I have to wear this polo shirt that doesn't breathe, that just soaks up my sweat. And I'm supposed to wait for the cart girl to buy a drink. And I've been thirsty for the last 5 holes. Shout out to Pins and Aces, local golf company who didn't invent but marketed the long sleeve cooler that you can fit about 7 beers in, and is supposed
yes,
and is supposed to fit very inconspicuously into your golf bag. I do not possess one of those golf bags, but yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to everybody in that. The people who are changing the game for the better. Is one of my takeaways from this whole Live PGA merger. If you want to believe all the rhetoric coming out of the PGA Tour side, shout out to all the people that are actually growing the game of golf. Bob to Sports, good, and those guys provided me endless amounts of entertainment while I'm at work. But also understand that, yeah, bag beers are a thing.
God bless Bud Select 55s. The perfect golf course beer.
You're not wrong. And you know what? I'll actually do that. I mean, it's with you here especially. Bud Select 55s is a great golf beer. Far better than Michelob Ultra.
That's a lie. But
I don't actually believe that.
I do.
I don't actually believe that. I think Michelob Ultra is a
perfect, outgoing, athletic, person on the go beer. Absolutely. That's what Mick Ultra is.
I know you sell Mick Ultra as well. I am fully more aware than I would say any of your other friends that you don't work with. I am fully aware of all of the AB InBev brands, because that shit's on my fucking timeline all day. But Bud Select 55, I think that was the one, man. Bud Select 55 was the beer that should have been pushed. If you were able to attach an actual Budweiser brand to golf, not just one that was under the umbrella, Bud Select 55 was the one. Not only do I think it actually tastes better, I think it's more effective.
Well, it's half the alcohol.
When you're participating in a sport, Bud Select 55 is what you want, not Michelob Ultra. Michelob, at that point, you get into the idea that Michelob Ultra, whatever, the beer of the PGA Tour.
The 96 calories, 2.9 carbs, 4.2% alcohol of pure deliciousness. Yes, the official beer of the PGA.
Yeah.
The official beer of summer. Live Ultra.
What I'm saying is, right? Oh, and at a business standpoint, right? Because all right, so you've got at least 50% of the people who drink beer are drinking beer to achieve a certain physiological result, which is inebriation. At least 50%. Right? Like you've been with me on my sober benders.
Yes.
Sad though they may be. I have consumed beer that had no physiological reaction other than I wanted to drink a beer and I was hanging out with my friends who were drinking beer, but I did not want to get drunk. On a sporting field that is already difficult, Bud Select 55 was where Budweiser has made mistakes in their marketing, as we both know.
Yes.
And I won't get into it any further than that.
I appreciate that.
Budweiser Select 55 should have been the golf beer. Even for the patrons, the attendees of the PGA events, make tall cans of Bud Select 55, because it's a secret to all alcohol marketing agencies. It is a secret. Everybody who drinks alcohol wants to get drunk at some point. But they don't want to get drunk too quick. And if they have to follow 18 holes of golf, a lower alcohol content is preferred.
No, Select 55 definitely is for playing 18 or for fishing. I highly recommend
playing 9.
Half your cooler on a good fishing day. Start half your cooler. Well, I prefer Budweiser. That's my go-to. But then half your cooler's Bud. You drink those up, and then you go to 55s, and you're going to have a good day.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. But if I'm putting in a long day.
Well, golf's a different thing. That's
If
where the 55 is the perfect element.
If I'm putting in a long day, fishing, golfing, existing on this planet, if I want to wake up and have a breakfast beer and then continue my consumption, I want less carbs. I want less alcohol. And I've said it privately in group chats, in Heels and Quads Zoom calls.
Speaking of that, join the Patreon.
Yeah, Heels and Quads Patreon. Let me pull up that banner. Go to heelsandquads.com for generally weekly meetups and one big special monthly meetup, including Levi. But yeah, if there are times, right? There are times when you just have to drink all day. And there's no better beer for drinking all day than Bud Select 55. And that is my point. Golf should have been pushing Bud Select 55 over Michelob Ultra. My guess is that they had some sort of, they're just like, Budweiser is associated with rednecks. Rednecks don't play golf, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Bud Select 55 is what they should be pushing. Abandon Bud Light entirely, go to Bud Select 55 and
people I speak, don't listen to Muda. Don't abandon Budweiser. And also, Ultra.
Don't abandon Budweiser.
But
let's be real. Bud Light has a long road back to good.
We're not talking about Bud Light. We're talking about Ultra.
I'm talking about abandoning Ultra.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about abandoning Ultra for Bud Light 60 or
Mr. Muda.
55.
Mr. Muda, don't just live life, live the Ultra life. We don't want to abandon that. We want to live the Ultra life. 90 everybody, 96 calories, 2.9 carbs. It is
like Mig Ultra.
It's the most delicious light beer there is.
Before I ever abandoned carbs, before I fled the we said we weren't going to get political, but fuck it. Before I fled the communist state of New York.
Yeah.
This is a golf show. I'm not afraid to naysay communists. Before I fled the communist state of New York, I was already on the Ultra train. But as far as I know, by the time I left New York, Bud Select 55 wasn't a thing yet. For the average golf fan and the guy who watches golf on the weekends, the guy who can't afford to pay the asinine price to attend a PGA Tour event, they should be pushing Bud Select 55. Michelob Ultra has the font that they use, the Michelob font. It's nice. The can has a nice presentation and all of that stuff. All I can say to our viewers, Bud Select 55 is a much better option. If you're going to sit there and you're going to watch, if you're going to go, if I'm not pushing a competitor's beer. I'm pushing a beer within your purview. I think Bud Select 55 is the way to go. I'd like to see Bud Select 55 in gas stations instead of Mick Ultra. Give me a fucking tall can of Bud Select 55 over a tall can of Mick Ultra.
Here's where I'm going to argue with you, though. To get the same effect, you'd have to drink 2 cans of Select 55 to equal that one delicious can of Living the Ultra Life.
I get that. I really do. But we're talking about the golf world.
Golf is a whole different element.
Where people are attempting to maintain a certain degree of athleticism. And that includes the gallery at a golf hole. They get a long day ahead of them. Nobody's going to the Masters and walking from hole 1 to hole 18 with at least one golfer and saying, I want to be hammered fucking drunk when I get to my car. Bud Select 55 offers you the option.
But by the way, you're inspiring a challenge. PGA Tour, me and you, we're going to arrange travel plans within the next year. You will drink Bud Select 55 all day, and I will drink Mick Ultra all day, and we'll see who has the better time. And the Saint will be the judge of all this, and she is chaperoning this event.
Well,
and she is smirking, laughing right now as I propose this.
This is a horrible idea,
I think
except for the fact that you are going to be hammered by the time it's over, and I'm going to be like, this was the greatest golf day ever.
And for you Riding the Pine and Heels and Quads fans, we will not live stream the whole day, but we will record next in a year. This is a year project, so give us some time. It will not be a major. I can't afford a major, but
neither of us can afford a major.
But we will be,
unless you like and subscribe to Heels and Quads. You get the subscriber count up, and that way we can get that YouTube money, and then we can go to the fucking goddamn PGA majors.
And don't forget, go to mudamerch.com. Pick up a shirt. That would
be the best way. That would be the best way. That way we don't have to rely on Google, who is also backed by Saudi.
Tommy's going to cut this whole episode.
He's not. There's nothing. There's been no F-bombs. There's been no F-bombs.
We've been professional.
This is 100% professional. I've done my best to keep it on track. This is it, you know, like aside from my weird half against half for ab InBev.
They're a major conglomerate. Like everything in life, every major conglomerate's going to come back to haunt you.
Oh yeah, I mean that's where we're at, right? You know, like this is the only thing that I would permit the communists, right? Is that almost everything is controlled by a corporation. In our current situation in the United States, everything is controlled by a corporation. Everything that I won't get into here, that we've experienced over the last 2, 3, 4 years, has been at the behest of a corporation. It's just the world we live in. As Uncle Dan so so aptly put, money talks and bullshit walks. That's the way it goes. Resources are, and though you may believe that you can forcefully seize the means of those resources.
Just you talk about resources, major conglomerations. A couple years ago, I got fed up with Nestle about how they were stealing water rights, not just in this country.
Right.
Nestle's a big issue in my state of Michigan.
Right.
But
you're from Flint, yes?
Outside of it, don't lump me in there. But yes, I'm from that area. But that wasn't Nestle. But up north are Great Lakes, some other really strong water preserves. But then globally, you look, they're very notorious about water rights, how they bribe government officials, move in.
Yes.
And I was looking at a way to not buy Nestle products. I have a bad spoiler for everybody. About 80% of everything you buy at your grocery store is part of the Nestle conglomerate. Because to not buy something from Nestle's, I realized would be
you'd have to buy everything from like local farmers.
It's impossible. And as much as I hate to be a hypocrite and be like I went against it, you just accept the fact there are things in life you cannot win. And and time is money. Like the amount of time you'd have to spend and additional money, you get to a point. It is what it is.
You've got to resign yourself to more or less caveman life in order to avoid the companies that you hate. Which, despite my love of the internet and the love of my reach with the internet, like I'm all for it. I'll high five anybody who watched a stream and then was just like, I went to live in the mountains. I don't have internet anymore, but I saw you on the street. So yeah, high five, bud. But that's not while we're here, or why we're here. While we are here already, in this while it's happening. Golf. The golf world is exploding. Everybody who stood by the PGA Tour is backpedaling, and they're spinning their wheels trying to figure out how best they can present this situation.
Rory McIlroy can still kick rocks.
Rory Mcllroy is a bitch. He did not actually cry. Forgive me for the caption for this video. He did not actually cry, but he may as well have been. Grandstanding for the PGA Tour after all of this nonsense. Like, this guy should have been more pissed off than anybody on the planet. And he just sat there and took it, which begs the question. What got put into his bank account?
Oh, too much.
This is, and it's not even a matter of like, well, it is a matter of corruption. The PGA Tour has been corrupt for a long time. That's why Greg Norman started his crusade against the PGA Tour. But the question is, like, because this is all it's on the books, but it's off the books. I have no illusions or delusions that companies like the PGA Tour, their nonprofit status or not, can misplace money for the benefit of others. and the Rory's vehement opposal or opposition is probably the better word. Vehement opposition. So I don't think opposal is an actual word. Vehement opposition of the Live Golf League and everything it represents and stuff like that. It is the dude has had to have had English conversations with his daddy, Jay Monahan, about spreading the good word of the PGA amongst the locker room of the PGA Tour. As Uncle Dan pointed out earlier tonight, Will Zalatoris, who is honestly overall middling golfer, he did well in a U.S. Open, but still came in second place. Offered $130 million from when you're talking millions. Millions is nothing to the Saudis. Offering millions, which is life-changing money in the United States, to say no because some PGA guys were like, yeah, don't do this. It's going to, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. But, money talks. Bullshit walks.
Check's clear.
And the bullshit that is walking right now is the PGA Tour. They are walking back everything that they've ever said. Jay Monahan can't answer questions about the 9/11 family fund or whatever that he was standing beside while he demonized the Live Tour. It's all a bunch of bullshit. And I'm happy this is happening because it brings to light the bullshit that I've been thinking, if not talking about, for the last 2 years. That being said, in lieu of another piss break, I think all that we could say has been said. So I think I'm going to kill the stream. We'll take a break, and then Eric, stick around because, I always want to talk to you.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's genius.
Anyway, anybody who's watching live or on the back end, go to Heels and Quads Patreon, patreon.com/Heels and Quads. Sign up, get in on the weekly hangouts, get in on all the dirt and the inside jokes, and we love you. Go to mudamerch.com, support the channel, support Heels and Quads, support Who Popped Your Culture, support Ridin the Pine. Anybody who does, I appreciate you. Get your Uncle Dan Sports Kook t-shirt, your Sleazy E t-shirt, your Ridin the Pine t-shirt. I love you, and we'll catch you next time. 1, 2, 3, and then however long it takes to actually end the broadcast. Love you.
Goodbye.